The branch manager looks at the screen, then at you, then back at the screen. You're sure you want to transfer the full amount? You say yes. He types slowly. You don't change your mind. 20 years in one signature. It looks like nothing. You're 23. You have a job, a salary, rent paid on time every month. Take home is $2,700, rent $1,150, car $295, student loans $260. By the 25th, you've got somewhere between $350 and $500 left. You go broke, you just feel like the number should be doing something, and it isn't. In April, the group chat lights up. Cancun. Memorial Day. $2,000 a person. Everyone's in within 20 minutes. You type, "Let me check my schedule." You have the money. Something just feels off about spending it, and you can't explain what. You tell them work is busy. They go. Friday night, you watch their stories from your apartment. The pool, the rooftop bar. Everyone looks like they're having exactly the kind of 20s they were supposed to have. You watch for longer than you mean to. Then you put the phone down. The following Tuesday, Greg stops by your desk. Greg is 41, 9 years at the company. Camry, desk lunch, same collared shirt every day. Nothing about him tells you anything. He mentions, not making a thing of it, that his investment accounts just crossed $400,000. Same salary band as yours, no inheritance, no side income, nothing. You ask how. He thinks for a second. Every time I got a raise, walks back to his desk. You stand there. The hallway sounds exactly the same. You go back to your desk, and you don't really know what to do with that. That night, you go home and open a spreadsheet. You sit there for a while before you start typing. You list what comes in, you list what goes out. $190 a month on food delivery. $87 on subscriptions. $340 last quarter under miscellaneous, which is the word you use when you don't want to look at it directly. You're not in trouble, you're leaking. Slowly every month, in amounts small enough that none of them ever felt like a real decision. But you add them up, and there they are. You bump the 401k from 6% to 15%. Take home drops about $180. The money leaves before it arrives. You open a Roth IRA, $500 a month into a total market index fund, automatic transfer, close the tab, cancel 4 subscriptions, keep 2, cut the food delivery, 40 minutes, you make coffee. The apartment looks exactly the same. 2 weeks later, your mom calls. She wants to know about the car. Your cousin just leased something new, $620 a month, photos on Facebook, a lot of people responded. You say the car runs fine. She pauses. Lets it go. You know what the pause means. You pretend you don't. 8 weeks after the spreadsheet night, Greg gets laid off. Restructuring, his whole floor. You watch him carry a box past your desk on a Thursday afternoon. He doesn't make eye contact with anyone. You think about saying something, and then he's already through the door. That night, the app says $8,200. You sit with that number for a while. It's not enough to feel safe. But you think about the box. You think about what it would feel like to be carrying one with nothing behind you. You leave the accounts alone. 14 months later, you get a raise. 4%. You bump the 401k 2 more points. Raise the Roth transfer by $75. Keep the apartment. Keep the car. The raise disappears in 3 weeks and your body adjusts and it's just gone. That fall, your college friends have a reunion dinner. Rooftop place downtown. Small plates, cocktail list. The kind of check where you do quick math while other people are still talking. Someone just got into finance. Stock options, the kind of money that hasn't arrived yet but feels like it's close. Someone else bought a house in the suburbs. The conversation moves the way it moves at these things. Promotions. Square footage. Updates that are really just comparisons with extra steps. Someone asks what's new with you. Not much. Work is good. The table moves on in about 8 seconds. You order the chicken, you listen. On the drive home, you think about the accounts. $47,000. There's no version of saying that at the dinner table that lands right. It sounds like a weird flex or it sounds like nothing, depending on who's listening. You don't say it, you just drive. 2 weeks later, Tyler calls. He's opening a coffee shop, needs $20,000 for his share of the build-out. Thinks it doubles in 2 years. He's asking 3 people and you're one of them. You sit with it for 3 days. You actually want to say yes. Tyler is one of your oldest friends, and the place sounds real, and you like the idea of being part of something. But you tell him no. He finds the money somewhere else. 6 months later, the place opens. You go on opening day. It's warm, packed, Tyler behind the counter, looking like a person who made something happen with his own hands. You stand there with your coffee and feel genuinely glad for him. There's also something else you're feeling, and you don't really want to examine it. For 8 months, the shop does well. Lines on weekends. Tyler's talking about a second location. You hear about it mostly secondhand. Then Tyler stops calling as much. You notice, but you don't say anything. You see the opening day photos come up in your memories feed one afternoon. A year later, the algorithm surfacing them like a question you didn't ask for. You think about liking the post. You don't. You're not sure why. 3 months after that, Tyler calls. The landlord raised the rent at renewal. The partner walked. The loan is due. He doesn't ask for anything, just needs to say it to someone. You listen for a long time. When the call ends, you sit in your kitchen. The $20,000 is still in the account. It wouldn't have changed what happened. You know that. It doesn't make the call feel any different. You make coffee, you don't drink. You sit there. You're 30 when it starts. Monday morning, the app says 181,000. 6 weeks later, it says 147. $34,000 gone. The word crash is everywhere. Every notification is built to make your hands do something. For 9 days, you don't do anything. Then one morning, a Tuesday before work, coffee in your hand, you move $10,000 into a money market account. You tell yourself it's just temporary, just until things settle. You sit there for a few minutes feeling like you did something responsible. 3 days later, you move it back. You lose a small amount in the transaction, a few $100s maybe. The number isn't what you remember. What you remember is the feeling, the specific shame of watching yourself do the thing you told yourself you wouldn't do, then watching yourself undo it, and knowing the whole thing meant nothing except that you found out something about yourself under pressure. You don't tell anyone. Your dad calls on Wednesday night. Pull it out. Savings account. Wait for things to calm down. He's not being difficult. He watched 2008 happen to people he knew. You explain the difference between a loss on paper and a real one. Between reacting and holding. He listens. He doesn't push it. You don't push it. You hang up. You keep contributing. Every paycheck. Same fund. The shares are cheaper. You're buying more of them. You try not to open the app too often. 14 months after the bottom, you open it. $223,000. You sit with that for a long time. Outside sounds exactly the same as when it said 147. Nothing out there changed. You call your dad, tell him. He's quiet for a second. So it came back, he says. Yeah, it came back. He asks if you're glad you held on. You say yes. You don't mention the $10,000, the 3 days, and the small amount you lost. You probably never will. You're 32 when you notice it. 7% of $223,000 is $15,600. You didn't do anything for it. It just arrived. Because you left it alone long enough. You stare at that for a while. Then you close the app and go make dinner. The annual return this year is larger than your entire first salary. You're still gonna work every morning. Still driving the same car. Nothing from the outside has changed. But the math is doing something it wasn't doing before. And you can feel it even when you're not looking at it. That spring, the company posted a senior manager role, 40% more pay. Move to Austin, double the hours, lead a relaunch that's already 18 months behind. Your director tells you you're the obvious choice, that this is the move. You ask for a week, you go home and open the accounts, $620,000. You run the numbers, you open the salary email 3 times over 2 days as the number might change. It doesn't. You look at apartments in Austin online for an hour one night. Nice places, more space, the kind of thing that would look like progress from the outside. You close the tabs, you turn it down. Your director looks at you for a second. You're sure? You're sure. He nods. 90 seconds. Done. You walk back to your desk, and the office sounds completely normal. And what you feel isn't really relief. It's more like, you made the call. And now you're just done thinking about it. Your cousin calls that evening. He heard through someone. Thinks you're losing it. Just got into another new lease himself and wants to know why you're not chasing more when you have the shot. You tell him you're good where you are. He doesn't get it. You don't try to explain. A few weeks later, a younger colleague stops by your desk. 24. Just opened her first brokerage account. Wants to know which fund. You tell her what Greg told you, except Greg said it in one sentence, and you take about 10 minutes because you want to make sure it actually sticks. She writes it down. Thanks you. Walks back to her desk. You watch her go and think about Greg. Desk lunch. A hallway 10 years ago. 4 words you almost didn't catch. You're 38 when it crosses 1 million. Kitchen table. Tuesday morning before work. Coffee is going cold. You open the app. Look at it, but the phone face down on the table. You sit there for a while. The street outside sounds normal. The building looks the same. The coffee is the same price as it was last week. Your apartment has a balcony now, 150 extra a month. The one thing you added 2 years ago because the morning light was worth it, and you finally let yourself say so. Your apartment looks the same. Everything looks the same. Just the number is different. After a while, you pick the phone back up and call your mom. She asks how you are. You tell her you just crossed $1 million in your investment accounts. She goes quiet. Not the kind where someone doesn't follow. The other kind. The kind where someone is going back through things. I didn't know, she says, meaning the car. Meaning Cancun. Meaning years of conversations she didn't have the full picture for. You tell her you know. She asks if you're happy. You think about it for a second. Happy isn't quite the word. What you notice is that something stopped, like there was this low-level thing running in the background the whole time. Every performance review, every company email about a tough quarter, every time the news said something about the economy, and your chest did that thing where it tightens for half a second, and you don't really register why. That's just gone. You didn't notice it leaving. You just noticed one day that it wasn't there. You didn't know how much room it was taking up until just now. That week, someone in the group finds out. Some people reach out, real questions, genuine curiosity. A few others get weird in a way you can't quite name. One friendship slowly becomes something different over the following months. Nobody says anything about it directly. You notice it and don't say anything either. Tyler calls on Sunday. He's doing well now. Different jobs, steady, starting to put money away. He heard the number through someone. How does it feel? He asks. You think about the spreadsheet, the 40 minutes, $8,000 and the feeling that none of it would ever be enough. As something stopped, you say. There was this thing running the whole time, and I didn't know it was there until it wasn't. Tyler is quiet for a bit. I should have done what you did, he says. You don't answer that. There's nothing useful to say, and you both know it. You're 44 when the accounts cross 6 million. You're not a different person. That's the first thing. The same things bother you, same things don't. You still wake up at 3 in the morning sometimes and just lie there. The money didn't fix any of that. What it did was quieter than you expected. It removed one specific category of fear. The bill that breaks something, the job that ends on a Tuesday, the body that needs something expensive. That category is just gone. You didn't notice it leaving. You noticed one day that it wasn't there, and then you tried to remember the last time you'd felt it, and you couldn't. You still go to work. Not because you have to. One afternoon, you're getting coffee near the office, and you run into someone from the old building. He looks tired. He was 2 floors up back when you were 26. Always seemed like he had things figured out. Left years ago for a bigger title, better pay. He's between things right now. Market's been rough. He asks what you're up to. Still at it, you say. He nods and moves on. There's nothing about you that tells him anything. Same clothes, same kind of car. He has no reason to think anything other than what he's thinking. That used to bother you a little. Now it just doesn't. That evening, your younger colleague sends you a message. Her balance just crossed $10,000. She wanted to tell someone who'd get what that means at the start, when the number is small enough that it's easy to convince yourself it doesn't matter yet. You write back 2 words. Don't touch it. She sends a thumbs up. You put the phone down. Right now, there's some 23-year-old with like $350 left in their account watching everyone else's stories. Thinking, maybe I'll look into that next week. Maybe next month. The thing is, next week is just next month is just next year. You were that person. You opened a spreadsheet,